Hey there in YouTube land, and you ever go into like a video store or go searching around online on different sites and stuff like that, and like start doing up your wish list? Well, a while back I did a video here because I was asked to do my Christmas wish list, and some people actually came on and they wrote their wish list down below, which was really cool, and I really like that. So with the arrow sale going on and with so many things that I want, because I don't know, these lists are fun to do. So I would love to see somebody else actually do a list like this. The giant lobster head up there, would love to see a list like this. So here is a list of 10, I think 10 of my favorite arrows, and some of my favorites that on my wish list that I had before that pretty much rank in the top. And I don't think I'm getting any of these for Christmas, but birthday time comes around and my better half, so you never know. I actually had like a little bit of time after I finished work today, and I said, you know, shag it. I'm going to go look on the website and stuff like that. But first, let's look and see what top of my list. From if you watch my Christmas list video, then you know I love doing up lists like these. They're so fun. I mean, I go into the store and I like snap pictures of what I want. I really do that. I'm weird that way. And I go online and I like. And then later on, like months down the road or something, I'll go and see which things are still on my wish list, and like I made it up to the top. Which things like whoa, I got like 7 or 8 things that I can actually take off the wish list now because I actually got it and I forgot that that was on the list. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Anyway, and I would love to see somebody else. With it so close to Christmas, it's kind of a fun thing to do. I remember back in the day when I had the Sears catalog, we'd get it come every year, and man, the Christmas wish book. So you get it come, and you grab it right away. You take a pen, and you go to your room, or go into the living room with your friend or your cousin or whatever, or just on your own, and you go from page 1. Well, I did. Tell me if any of you guys did this. I went from page 1 right to the last page and just like marked off all the cool things that you wanted. Do you remember when Sears would have like packs of like 50 packs of comics and stuff like that? I used to want that so bad. I never ever got that. But I used to want the comic pack so bad, but it never came. Anyway, here are the more adult version of the Sears wish list, I guess. Miss 45 by Abel Ferrara still ranks as one of the ones that I really want to get. It's by Draftheads Films. Just a very cool film. I like the way that it's done. Love the cover on this. It's a very dark film. It's not for everybody, but for some reason it sticks out as one that I'm going to get in my collection down the road. Next up is 42nd Street Forever Blu-ray Edition. I'm a huge trailer fan, and yeah, I love trailers. I mean, me and my better half sat down and watched a trailer tape, the one I got here, and we watched it like 2 or 3 nights in a row. So I liked it. Most wanted one on my list that I'm not going to get because this is one that I would have to find this store and get myself because my better half would probably not pick it up. I definitely wouldn't ask my mother for it, but more than anything else, I think the Tinto Brass Maestro Erotic Cinema set. It's a 4-disc Blu-ray set with bonus DVD documentary, and even for the documentary alone, but it has 4. I think that's 4. What was it? 4 great Tinto Brass movies. And Tinto Brass is not, when they say Maestro Erotic, he really is that good. He does some great stuff. I think Cheeky's on this one here. If it is, that's worth it alone. That is an incredible film. It was pretty much, his movies were never like in your face, but they're never like vulgar or just slimy or sleazy. They never came off like that. They came off as beautifully shot, as very much, and excuse me if this doesn't seem this way. I'm not a female, but it seemed very empowering, as in the woman taking control of herself, of her sexuality, of her of her own body and her own destiny. And the guy basically, we're pretty much the walked over ones in the films. But it was okay because it was a time in society, and it was a place when women were starting to become, they were finding themselves, they were finding their identity, they were finding out the fact that they could be and should be like just like a guy, a sexual being. They could claim their sexuality the way that they could claim their place in the workforce, whether they should claim the way they could claim their place anywhere. And nobody should ever make a female feel like she can't, or that she shouldn't make the same amount of money, or that she can't be who she wants to be. Because boy or girl, this is 2014, it should not matter. A little bit of a side thing there. That's how I feel. But anyway, Tyndall Brass was always one of my favorites. He had a class about him that other people didn't have as much. I mean, Radley Metzger is okay, but he really doesn't have the same sort of kind of like class, or like just amazing, like the workmanship that goes into Brass's films are incredible. Should have been like the Tyndall Brass video. Graduation Day. Is it a good movie? Not really. It's not a very good movie, but it does have some great things in it. There's a small part by Vanna White. The version that I want is the Slasher Classic Collection, which has a full feature-length documentary on Scream Queens, which I desperately want, and I actually find Graduation Day fairly hilarious in all the right ways. So for that reason alone, I will want that one. That is high on my list. I think it's the very first one in 88 films, classic Slasher Classics Collection, which I desperately want to get all of. Next up is a movie I never thought I'd want to get, but the packaging is so beautiful. The movie, I won't watch the really uncut version. This is the time when I don't, because I don't want to watch I want to watch the animal cruelty free version, because, well, I got cats and I love animals. I have always been against animals, like anything bad being done to animals in movies. It's just, we don't need to. Unfortunately, Ruggero Deodato did when he made this movie, Cannibal Holocaust. But the Grindhouse releasing set is so amazing and just so well done, with so many great features and documentaries and stuff like that, that I could not refuse putting this one on my list. I've had it in my hands a few times. It's a fairly thick package. So next to Tyndall Brass, Cannibal Holocaust really goes up there on the list. Now let's get into the Arrow stuff. There are some great steelbooks and stuff like that, but I'm going to kind of bypass the steelbooks this time around, because the ones that I really, really wanted, well, one of the ones I really, really wanted, I think my better half will end up getting me, probably, I don't think she got it for me yet, but it's one that I'm going to be grabbing myself pretty soon. So, and it's The Beyond, because I'm just a huge fan of Fulci. I think Fulci is a fantastic director, and he's really, really highly underrated. But now, the list from my, I went through this so many times. I mean, I love when they have sales, and I just go through and I'll read like different reviews. I'll watch trailers, and like Arrow has this website. I think, yeah, I was talking to Nathan, Blu-ray Anonymous, and I gave him the link to the website. I think I gave a couple other people the link to the website as well, because they just had some really cool stuff, and you could actually go there and you could see some of the great stuff that could be coming here to North America. And they have such variety. So when I went through, I grabbed like 10 off the list that were that I really wanted. But I made up that by looking on the list here. So first off is, and these are in no particular order actually, is Barren Blood by Meher Bava. It has AIP soundtrack, and man, I want all the Bavas with the AIP soundtracks. Just incredible stuff. I really think it's amazing that Arrow has gone out of their way to really get you a really good edition. So if you are a fan of Bava, and maybe you just picked up the Kino one, or maybe you picked up the Anchor Bay set a ways back, and you really want to get a really definitive edition of a Bava film, start looking towards Arrow, because they have definitive editions of the Bava films. And yes, they do have those amazing Tim Lucas commentaries that you know you're going to listen to. Next up is The Blind Woman's Curse. I knew nothing about this movie before I saw it, and man, I gotta look and see if Logan's got a review on this one. I think he does. Uh, Logan Toxic, guys. Now, Bones Curses just seemed to be a really cool movie, and I've read the description on it. Not a lot of features on it, but just grabbed me. As in something that I really want to see. Next up is Deranged. Deranged was like a cool little film done by Ormsby and Clark, I think. Is that a Bob Clark film? Oh my God. I cannot believe that here I am talking to you guys right now, and I can't remember if Bob Clark directed Deranged or not. Yes, it's been that long ago. I know it's the Ed Gein one, Robert Blossom, and oh my God, who directed Deranged? Okay. No, it's Ormsby. Ormsby. For some reason, I get Ormsby. I think I get Ormsby and Clark confused. The same thing with Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. I had to look twice on that one, and I really shouldn't have to. Alan Ormsby also wrote, when I was a kid, I used to get lots of classic books, and one of the cool things I got was this like monster makeup book. You could like make yourself like the Mummy or the Wolfman or Jack or whatever, and I did it. I used the this thing to make myself look like Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and I used kind of like I did it for a what do you call it? I did a speech on makeup effects, practical makeup effects when I was in school. I was a geek, and I used lighting to actually have some of the makeup on beforehand, so that I could show how it was used in Frederick March's. Anyway, it did not come out as good as it did there, but I did my best. It was a great little book, and Alan Ormsby wrote it. Side note. Deranged is just a cool little film. It's a dark, dark film. It's about Ed Gein. There's a little documentary on me there as well. We've seen many versions of Ed Gein's story done before. You know, from Texas Chainsaw to whatever, to movies like Gein with Kane Hodder, who, although I love Kane, is not the physical embodiment of what Kane actually was. Robert Blossom in Deranged does get a really chilling, good portrayal. And it may seem kind of slower in that now, but there are some great special effects in this movie here. And I just found it's a fantastic little film. Next up is one that, if my better half doesn't buy this one, I will be completely shocked, because it's something that she absolutely loves. She saw the trailer, she read about it, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to buy this one. So I'm kind of expecting this one on the Christmas list. Kind of a gift to her type thing. Or a gift to us, because this would be something we both watch. And it's Jaguar Lives. Oh, man. There's some bad acting in this. But there's some incredibly crazy casting in this movie. We've got Christopher Lee, Donald Pleasence, and John Huston doing this movie. With, I don't really remember the guy's name right now, but he was going to be the next big thing. Unfortunately, he couldn't act very well. So, that, and he had a really big ego, apparently. That's what they say. But it's one to own, because it's just one of those cheesy action movies that you got in your collection. I bought from Criterion Investigation of a Citizen Under Suspicion, which actually is a really good Italian film. I actually recommended it when I was doing my Criterion list a while back, and I did not find it till today. There's a movie that I was really interested in, and it's L'Assassino, and this means the assassin, right? Or assassination, death, whatever. It's an Italian film, and it really captured my attention. So it's just something different. Not a lot of features on it, but just something to capture my attention. I actually gave this list to my better half, so I may get more of these for Christmas if I fingers crossed. Plus, I have some reward points to use, so I'll let you guys know on this. Mark of the Devil. I didn't see it on the first when I went through my first list round. I do have some great stuff that I did a list of 10 before for her to choose from. None of these were on there, and then I put the list down to 7 or 8, and I'm not sure how many she got of them. But I gotta say I think she's gotten at least 5 or 6, so which is cool. Which will be pretty good. That's what she usually does. Uh, but Mark the Devil should be on that list. It wasn't, but that's going to be on. If I get, actually kind of waiting and hopefully going to get some more of these, Christmas money, all that stuff. So we're looking into that. Because it's the one time that I'm actually going to be able to shop for movies for this year. I mean, like this time, and like if I get any money in Boxing Day, are the only times I can shop for films within the next few months. Because basically, except for Christmas and my birthday, it's basically going to be saved up for the trip to England. So that's my next step. But Mark the Devil is a fantastic film. It's got Herbert Lom doing a great job in this one, and is it Reggie Nader from Salem's Lot, because it really looked like him. I was watching the trailer for it, and they mentioned there's a documentary on like that comes a new wave of British horror. So I was like very, very interested in like seeing that, and yeah, it's Reggie Nader. Udo Kier is in this one. Udo Kier takes this as a movie that like kind of gave him fame. Next up is an older one and a classic. I think Criterion put it up. The Criterion's edition not as good actually, and this one is in Blu-ray, and it's Preston Sturges' film Sullivan Travels. Sullivan Travels, really cool film. Got a great documentary on it as well. Next up is The Burbs, because although I listed that in my list, and I was certain when I did this last Arrow video that I mentioned to you guys, I was certain that I got The Burbs. So, because I mentioned it, I think I hinted at a few, and she was like, that's she, after a while of me like saying yes, and I can't wait to see the work print and the documentary and stuff. She said, Aaron, said I can't tell you what you have, but that is not on the list. I said, well, it's going to be on the second list, so that'll be a definite pickup for me. The Conformist, a great film by Berlucci. Very good documentary on him. One that I would seriously want. Who Dares Wins. Great little action film. Has an actual second film on it. I'm not sure how good the second film is, but it's kind of cool when you get that extra film. And that was my top 10 list. But you know what? Let's go a little bit above that, because shag it. We got time, right? Again, any of the Babbles that are here, any of the Tendo Brass that's here, seriously recommend it. If you like nudity done well with a storyline, and just that is incredible stuff. Bicycle Thieves is the one that didn't go on my list this time around, but it's one I'll probably grab in the next time around. There's some great Bava stuff on here as well. Black Sunday, Black Sabbath. I don't know if I mentioned it in my last list one of like movies you should own, but definitely own them. If Bay of Blood's here, definitely pick it up. I did grab Bay of Blood, and well, not this time. Yeah, obviously, I got it a while back, and I was watching it last night. The great special features stuff, awesome interview with Dardano Sachi. Just really good stuff. One of the other ones that was on my last list was a movie by the Wachowski brothers called Bound. Strong possibility that could be something that that ends up on my under the Christmas tree, because that was on the list, as was Brute Force. So those two are ones that I really want. And I saw the Brute Force came with Criterion, and I looked at the cover that came out for Arrow, and I definitely went for the Arrow one. Ones I like to get, but I haven't made the list yet. Tino Brass actually did Caligula. It actually hurt his career, but there's a guy that did movies like All Ladies Do It and Cheeky and stuff like that. And The Key was actually a really big film. La Chevy. And I hope I did the pronunciation of that one right, because it had like big actors in it. Like Frank Finley was in that movie, and there's a famous Italian actress who was a big scandal at the time, because she did like some very as they call it at the time, gynecological, like nude sequences, and she just liked the script, and that's the thing. The script works so well. City of the Living Dead, because I know I'm going to grab myself that Beyond Steelbook down the road, so City of the Living Dead is going to be one that it will be the third one, the only one that I'm missing in the collection, on Blu-ray. I have the Aerodrome editions, and I do have a. I think I actually have a. Yeah, I've got the Blue Underground DVD of City of the Living Dead. This is a big Fulci fan I am, guys. See right here. Very cool cover, isn't it? And I got it for like $1.99 at a video store. So I'm a big Fulci fan. I'll get Django down the road too, because Django Perez Coffin is actually a really good one. If I'm correct, I think I've seen a lot of Django films. I think that's the one where he's like the hangman, and he's actually not hanging the people, but he's actually kind of like building kind of like a secret army. I could be wrong, totally wrong about that film, but that's kind of what I remember. There's some decent Aerodrome stuff like Don't Go in the House and as well, and Pin, which I recommend. If you don't have the movie Pin, it's a really good movie. Forbidden Zone is just a unique film. I can just go on looking at this stuff for hours. I mean, and talking to you guys about it. Lady Snowblood 1 and 2 was a set that I definitely want to pick up down the road. I don't know if the Steelbook is still available or not. It's not on the list of the ones that are there. But let's take this in another direction for a second. Why don't we look at the Arrow stuff that I can recommend you guys that's not on the list? Yeah, I'll do it that way. So we'll go for the horror. A Bay of Blood is not on the list, unfortunately, this time around. And it's a fantastic film. Maybe if some of these ones sell out early on, they'll actually put new ones in there. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. But it'll be interesting to see if any of that happens. If any movies sell out and they have to replace them, or if they do bother to replace them. Just cheesy little films like Blood Feast. Not something Blood Feast 2, I think. Not something I go for, but people that like that type of stuff, definitely. I mean, trying to see if there's anything here that really stands out. Deep Red, there's a limited edition of that, guys. It's still available. Strongly recommend it. Strongly recommend Deep Red. And these are not in the sale. These are just ones that are out there on their own. The Fantastic Factory Collection, a bit pricey right now, but it's 4 movies. Well, 1 that I really like and 3 that are okay. And the 1 that I really like I already own. Again, there's some like, I'm trying to see if there's any extra steelbooks or stuff out there. They did a really good version of Maniac Cop. It's worth looking into. They just today released a limited edition dual format with the original soundtrack of the movie Necromantic. Now, let me preface that by saying that Necromantic is not a movie that everybody or a lot of people are going to like. So if you're going to go in and get that, it is a cool limited edition. It looks really nice, but know what you're getting. It is not for everybody. Is it a fun film? I think it's a unique film. But the Pit and the Pendulum Steelbook is absolutely gorgeous, and it is the only reason it's not on my list is because, well, it didn't come out in the sale. I was really hoping that the David Cronenberg stuff would be in the sale, like Shivers and stuff like that. I know there was issues with it, but I would buy it in a second. I love that movie. I remember watching it when I was a kid. And, yeah. Wow, there's a ton of features on Necromantic. A ton with a 100-page book. Wow. They put out another edition of it that I actually have on my list. Maybe I should put this on my list instead. Squirm is a fun little film if you don't have it. They had a Dr. Phibes set. I'm not sure if it's still available, but if it is and it's not too expensive, it's really worth looking into. Yeah, the complete Dr. Phibes. At £21, it's not too bad, and it has the Dr. Phibes, the Abominable Dr. Phibes. I think it has a 100, 200-page book with it, so that's not a bad one if you're a Vincent Price or a classic AIP horror fan. There's some really great stuff. I mean, movies that I can recommend. Ones that I looked at getting were like Super Bitch. I really want that one for some reason. And that some reason it's called Stephanie Beacham. That's why I want that one. If you don't have the Texas Matt channel, that's on the list anyway. The Visitor is another cool one. It's not on the list. And unfortunately, although it didn't make the list, it's still at $14.99. It's not a bad price. Vamp is a really good Blu-ray worth picking up. But one of the Uber ones that a lot of people are grabbing or want because they did a great set was they did a really cool Vincent Price set called Vincent Price and Six Gothic Tales. And the films that they used on this one here were, which ones did they use again? Fall of the House of Usher, Tales of Terror, The Raven, The Haunted Palace, Tumula, Lagia. I mean, just some really great stuff with a ton of features. And yeah, a 200-page book, so you can't go much better than that. Anyway, I didn't want to make this one very long, but I wanted to make this fun. I wanted to like get you guys thinking about what you want. What type of stuff are you hoping you get under that Christmas tree, or what type of stuff you know you're not going to get under it, but you're already planning for down the road, that you're already like saving your pennies for. I remember my good friend Sammy here was saving up for the Xbox One, and since then he went on sale, so he was able to get it, and during the whole Black Friday thing, and he's had a blast with it. I've seen so many videos that Sammy has for about Dragon Age Inquisition. He's really getting into that game, which is awesome. There's so much cool stuff. I talked to a good friend of mine last night. I was actually talking to him on here as his better half was getting him gave him a gift card, and he was like looking for a movie to buy, and Amazon. It was really cool. It's really nice when you see someone. That's kind of what inspired me to do this. Was that it got me looking again. It got me like looking at stuff. And whenever there's a sale like this, I get excited, and I want to like. Usually, my better half is here, and we'll look on the sites, and we'll make dream lists and stuff like that, and we'll think about what we can get and what we can't get, and what we're going to get next time around. And so, you guys are my sounding board. Let me know what you think. Give me your ideas on some of your dream lists. For me, there's a ton of Arrows. There's the Tin Brass. There's Cannibal Holocaust. There's the John Rowland set. Just didn't mention that before. That's another one. Pete Walker. Where did I forget Pete Walker? Isn't there too much? There's really too much, and you can't get it all. So you gotta really narrow the list. Obviously, I'm not good at narrowing the list. There am I, but my top 10 Arrows are on the list over there, and of ones that weren't on my other list, and I'm not sure which ones of those she chose. There's a couple I'm really hoping to have. Where I'm a huge fan of the movies. I would love to see. Oh God, Remo Williams is one I'm hoping is going to be under that tree, because it's one that's on the list. And I hinted really heavily at that one because this got a great documentary. Leroy Green told me all about it. Said that it's something that I have to see, and I've since then I've heard other people talking about that how great that documentary is. And I'm a huge fan of 80s movies, of course. So 80s action movies, that's like horror and action, and the teen sex comedies are what defined the 80s. It was a fantastic time to be a movie watcher and to be a teenager as well. It's not always a great time now unless you're going back to the past to watch films, because although there's great, fantastic that there's a superhero movie or TV show on every week, but there's a lot of different stuff that I think has gotten lost along the way. A lot of cheesy, kitschy stuff that hopefully comes back. It comes back into vogue. And I think with the fact that we're all buying Arrow and Scream Factory and Synapse and Blue Underground and all that stuff, it should be a sign to movie studios that we still want to watch this stuff. Unfortunately, when they do make some of it, we don't always go to the theater and see it. And that's a shame. Like, everybody will go to the theater and see The Conjuring or something like that, but as cheesy as it was, I'm alone on this one, guys. Texas Chainsaw, and it was worth seeing in the theater. It was just fun, whether you liked the movie at the end of the day or not. It was a fun theater romp, as was Evil Dead. I made the mistake of not seeing that one in the theater, and I really regretted it. My son saw it and said it was a fantastic film. I went and saw it, and I really liked it. Was it, could have bypass the original. I didn't want it to bypass the original. I just wanted to have fun with the movie. I wanted it to be good enough. I wanted it to not be another Psycho remake. And that's my spiel. That's my thing. So go out and see yourself some Tinto Brass. Great director, and I really mean that in the most sincere way. Know that there's a lot of nudity in his films, but check out his stuff. He does put out a lot of good material, and he's just a fantastic director. That is definitely going to be one that I will be looking for after Christmas and saving my pennies for, because there's some awesome stuff there, and there's some Tinto Brass movies on Arrow as well. So if you want to give him a try with just one of his movies, I recommend Cheeky or All Ladies Do It, or God, even either one of those three, and you're pretty good. Cheeky and All Ladies Do It are probably more mainstream lined, but remember that when you're watching these movies, they are not like porn films or anything like that. They're not even softcores in the way that you would imagine softcore today. These are films. These are works of art, and they're meant to be that way. They're very European. Their sense of style is very European, and that's an amazing thing. I'm a guy that should have grown up in Europe. So, thanks again from the Giant Lobster Head, and from me, who decided to make this video at the last minute because I was originally going to do a review of a movie that I just watched, but I guess I'll do that one later on. That's the want list continues. Christmas comes up closer. My better half, inshallah, will be here on Friday night. So you may not see me Saturday on reviewing, and I'll be enjoying. I'm like a kid at Christmas time, and it is at Christmas time, and it's always been about making the list more than what you actually get. That list thing is always, ever since I've been a kid, I've always had fun with the list. Have a great night, guys. I'm gonna have some tea, and it's only early, so maybe I'll watch another movie. The nights tend to seem longer now. My better half gone. You know, I'm not out anywhere. We're not doing anything. I spend most of my time inside. It's gonna be a busy week this week. Yeah, it's at work, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. I'm extremely nervous about something I'm doing. One of my first project type things that I actually took on, and at the beginning, my boss was like, you don't have to take it on if you want to. This is something that we used to do, and I said, no, I'll do it, no problem. And then I thought, okay, so my better half's with me, and she's been doing this stuff for a long time. This is the type of work she does. I can rely on her to help me out and give me some kind of suggestions and help me with a specific thing that I had to do. But then things happened. Life happens, as it often does, and she had to go, and yeah. So I'm extremely nervous, and I'm trying to get this done. And a friend of mine from school, from one of my ex-classmates, actually came up to bat to help me out, which is amazing, and I got to thank her for that. She won't see this because no, I don't think many of my classmates actually see my videos, or know. They just know randomly that I do, or I mentioned once or twice, and that I have a YouTube channel thing. They don't know that I've made over 1,000 videos, I don't think. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night. For me, it's time for tea and a movie, because what's better than tea and a movie? Well, film and coffee would say film and coffee, but for me, tea and a movie.